All right, you know who my next guest is, the Leech, Damon Jackson, and you can see him fight next on March the 12th at UFC Vegas 50 when he faces Kamuela Kirk. Damon, how are you?
Doing good, man. How are you?
I'm good, and I'm excited to see you back in the cage. I want to dive into camp and all of that, but first, I have to start with your last fight, a UD win over Charles Rosa. I was like pacing around back and forth in my man cave watching that last round. You were
Yeah.
dominant in the first two rounds. He lands that spinning elbow in the third and just opens you up. Blood was everywhere. Just run me through your mind, man. Like, what were you thinking at that point?
Well, I honestly, I was, I could not tell exactly how he hit me. I knew it was something sharp, like an elbow. I couldn't tell if it was a hit the back of his head or what, because I saw him level change. And whenever I came forward and he level changed, I couldn't tell exactly what hit me. And once I felt his back, I felt pretty secure. I was like pretty confident that I was just fine. But I had his back, and I felt like that warm blood flow on my face, and I realized how bad the cut was. And then, so what was crazy is like I had like around his neck, and then I had his arm barred, and he trapped my hand, so I couldn't pull my hand out to choke. And whenever I was sitting there, every time I was squeezed with this hand, blood would actually squirt out harder. So it was definitely leaking pretty crazy. And I saw the referee like looking at me, and I was like, man, please don't stop it. Just let me keep going. Like, I'm so close. I thought I was gonna get that finish too.
Yeah, and so that leads right into my next question. Like, did you
Yeah.
feel the ref was going to step in and stop the fight? Because it looked like for a second he was going to do that.
You know, you never know. Like, honestly, like those cuts have to be pretty bad, and they have to be in a position where you can't like see, visually see like what's in front of you and stuff for them to really like stop it. Because like, I could see just fine. I could tell the blood was like it was like running off to the side. So I felt somewhat confident, but then when he stopped it and he brought the doctor in, I was like, okay. So, I've got to act like like nothing's going on, like I'm good to go. And it just like, it was definitely a little bit scary.
Well, aside from, what happened in the third round, you looked very dominant in rounds 1 and 2. How happy were you with what you were able to execute in the beginning of the fight?
Well, I was really happy because, like, I don't know exactly what went wrong with my weight cut or my rehydration or what, but my legs felt like they were just like freaking concrete. Like, I mean, my movement was trash. Like, I was not moving like the way I was planning, the way I was conditioned to do, and so like I'm not really sure what was going on, but I was very happy to have the fight on the ground because of what was going on with my legs. They were just so heavy. And I've taken a few things, put them into my diet, and I've changed a few things up. So I'm hoping that helps a lot. And then also, I think that the rehydration process. I think maybe I had drank too much water without electrolytes in it. So I'm adding in the electrolytes after every training session and not just while I'm cutting. And I think that's really helped a lot because I've had that where I'm cutting almost 30 pounds to get down to 45. So I'm walking around about 175. And whenever it's time to fight, like that's a lot of weight. So the cut has to be on point. And I've never really struggled. It's definitely a challenge, but I've never really struggled with the weight cut. But that last fight, I was happy to have it on the ground. And when it went there, I was, very pleased with that.
Have you thought, maybe a year or two, or maybe even longer from now, maybe fighting at 155 might make more sense, or do you feel
Dude,
like that cut
I,
to?
I would do it. Like I would do it from here on out. But it's just like one of those things. Like I have a 73, almost 74-inch reach. I'm almost 6 foot tall. I'm very very strong at 45, and I'm very strong just period. Like at whatever weight I'm at, and so like for me to cut the weight and I can make it there like pretty not easy. It's definitely not easy, but I make 45, pretty good. And no real solid hard, fight. Like I get there pretty good. And for me to go up to 55 would just be kind of like if it was a last minute fight, I would want it to be 55. But if it's like me working towards the title, then I want to be at 45.
So let's talk about this weight class of featherweight, one of the best in the UFC. You have the champion Volkanovski defending his belt against the Korean Zombie, main
Yeah.
event UFC 273. How do you see that championship fight going?
I just see that the zombie won't be able to stop a takedown. So, or I mean, like, whatever. Maybe he stops one or two, but like I think that Volkanovski kind of does his game plan and his style. He'll go at it real hard and aggressive, and if he has to take him down, he can. And I don't see the zombie being able to take him down. And I think that if the zombie ever does get up and start putting together some combos, he'll get taken down, and I don't see him getting back up.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel like Volkanovski, this is going to be, I don't want to say a shutout, but he's a pretty heavy favorite in this fight for sure. So when you look at, where you stand right now in the division, where does a win over Kirk here on March the 12th, where does that put you? Or are you knocking on the doorstep of that top 15?
Yeah, I mean, like, I really have a hard time with promoting myself in like a super vulgar way, or like, I don't want to get in everybody's face, and like I don't want to throw it out there all the time. But like, like I'm 19-4, and I have 17 finishes. I have 8 first round finishes, 8 second round finishes. I have 1 third round finish, and people can talk all the smack they want. Like whenever I made it to the UFC my first time, I was not ready. I was, I was 9-0. I just beat Winter Garcia. I'd only been fighting for a year and a half when I made it into the UFC the first time. And you look at everyone that I've lost to, like I've lost to some really tough people. And like Ilya, like that kid came out of nowhere. Like, I mean, he's a top 10 guy for sure right now. And, so like, me losing to him, it sucks, but he's a solid dude. And, like I want to be in the top 15. I want to fight someone in the top 15, top 20, like top 18, whatever. Like I want to work my way down. And, like this kid is tough, and I want to smash him and just make him look like I need to fight, top 20, top 15 guys. And that's what I want. I don't want to baby this around and like just stay in the UFC as long as I can. I want to fight the best fights and work my way down to that top 10, top 5, work my way up. And, like me beating him is a must. I have to beat him, and I have to finish him. And then after that, I definitely want someone in the top 15.
How's camp going thus far? I believe you're still at Fortis MMA, correct?
Oh yeah. I've been there since the beginning. Well, have no intentions on going anywhere else. But camp's going great, man. I'm just finished yesterday. It was my last really hard day of sparring with like live rounds and everything. So I'm done with my hard sparring rounds, and right now it's kind of just like maybe I might go do some live jits rounds or something like that, and some timing drills, like as far like throw hands like real light, and just working for my wrestling takedowns, but nothing crazy from here to there. It's just weight cut.
All right. And who are some of your main training partners? I know there's a bunch of killers right around your weight at the gym. Ocho, you got Saad Awad. Like, who are some of the main guys that you're working with?
Yeah, Ocho, Saad. We got Abdul. He just won. I'm so happy for that kid. He definitely he had a rough little patch where he had some rough losses, but that kid, he trains so hard, and he's such a good teammate with all the guys. And then I've got Miles Johns, EJ, his little younger brother EJ, just a freaking killer, southpaw, great kicks, solid wrestling and working on his jits every day. And then we got Fernie coming up too, Fernie Garcia, and we have such a good lineup in that from 135 to 155, and I've definitely got some great work in, and it's been a really good camp, man. It's everybody says that cliche nonsense for like, oh, I'm peaking, I'm doing all this stuff, whatever. But like I really am. I changed up my diet a little earlier to where I'm hoping that the weight cut's a little easier. And then I go into the fight with a good rehydration, and that's my main focus right now, because I'm definitely getting the technique in and the hard rounds in. I'll always get that, and that's what I got this camp too. And I'm feeling really healthy.
What's your weight today? How much do you have to cut?
I'm probably like 68 right now.
Okay, so we're still a little ways away from the fight, so you got plenty of time to do.
No, I'm 68, but I'm hydrated. I'm just ate. Just like tonight, like me and my wife, actually, she likes to go with me, like during my last like 2 or 3 weeks. I like to go to the sauna like 3 or 4 days a week. And so she'll go up there with me and, run on the treadmill and whatever. And then, we'll go sit in the sauna together. So, that's what I got tonight. I got some cardio and sauna tonight. And then tomorrow I might hit a hard little weight cut just to, see how low I can get. Just, I like to do that like 2 days a week. I like to cut weight. Like I like to cut like at least 10 pounds and like a, hour and a half or so. I like to get at least 10 pounds off. And so tomorrow, that's my day.
I did want to ask you too about your teammate Steven Peterson and Julian Erosa. That fight was one of the best ones of the year that we've seen thus far. How did you score that? Do you feel like Ojo did enough to get the win?
Man, it was so close. I forget what round it was. Like maybe in the second, or it might have been the beginning of the third. He got Julian got a takedown, and I think that and it wasn't like he controlled him, or it was not a long top control takedown, but he got a takedown twice, and it was at the end of the round, and one time it was at the beginning of the round, and I think that's what won him the fight. And I just it was like it sucks so bad when Peterson missed weight, and I told him, I'm like, man, you gotta get that shit on point, because that was such a good performance, and it was such a big deal, and to lose out on all that money, and then to lose that, just the chance of being fight of the year, and losing all that stuff. It's it's just such a big opportunity. You can't be letting the weight cuts mess up that bad where you're missing out on that kind of money and that kind of opportunity. But besides that, it was such a good performance on his part, because he's kind of been that guy where he takes so much damage, but he doesn't always show up and do what he does in practice. What he did in that fight is how he trains when he's at the gym. He trains like that. He pieces together the combos good. He's got good wrestling defense. He's got really good stuff off his back too. He hasn't really showed that, but his submissions are really good. So it was just so frustrating to see him lose that fight, because it was he fought so freaking hard and he was on point. So I definitely I think when he comes back, he'll be ready to roll.
Yeah, I definitely can't wait to see him back. Always enjoy watching him compete. Now, you were supposed to be fighting Josh Kulabau here for this March 12th fight. When did you find out that he backed out and you got this opponent in Kamuela Kirk?
It was so I think it was 7 weeks from the fight. So I don't know how long ago that was, but it was just under 8 weeks. So he had plenty of time to get ready. So it's not like he's taking this short notice or anything crazy. And who knows what happened to Josh. I heard that it was something with COVID, either he had COVID and he couldn't train the right way, or I'm not really sure what was going on. But he, saw it. That was going to be a good matchup, a solid matchup. But I like the grappling on that fight a lot better, because Kamala's he has a pretty solid jits background, and so I've definitely got to watch out a lot more for his guard than I would have with Josh, and that's definitely something I've been working on. And I think this fight could be one of those things where we go out there and both of us stand up the whole time, because we don't want to be exposed on the ground.
Yeah, and so he's on a 3-fight win streak. He's 1-0 in the UFC. You've got a lot more experience than him. When you look at this fight, do you feel like this is your fight to lose? I was looking at the odds, and I'm surprised you're actually the underdog, plus 135 as of now. Do you feel like you should be the favorite here, and this is your fight to lose?
I had no clue that I was underdog. I don't see that at all. You look at his last 3 wins, so he fought a guy in LFA directly after he was on a contender. Bruno, I don't know, something. He fought this guy, and one of my teammates that's 2-0 or 3-0 fought that guy and beat him, and he lost this guy in a decision, and it was the most boring fight. And then he fights some punk in LFA that I never he had no business being in there. And then he fought this guy that quit on the stool, for the title or for the main event on the LFA. And I was just watching his wins, and they're not impressive to me. and I'm gonna go out there and get in his face, and we'll see how the fight goes. But for all the bettors out there that like to bet on fights, like I put your money on me because I'm gonna smash this kid.
I love it. And this interview is for Vegas odds. So that right there, that's the perfect, quote for this interview. So do you feel like this is a finish? Do you get him out of there, or does this go the direction?
Yeah. Nah, just cause you told me that, I'm gonna finish him now. I'm definitely, I've been very motivated for this fight. Like it's like they tell you like don't talk about contracts, don't talk about money, don't talk about fighter pay, don't talk about any of the stuff that's going on. But like this is my last fight on the contract, so like I want to go out there and let them know what's going on. Like this isn't a game to me. Like I don't take it lightly. I'm not out there for paydays. I'm out there to be in the UFC and to fight for the UFC and to make my name known for it. And I'm definitely coming out there looking for a finish. And I'm going to be in the kid's face the whole fight.
I can't wait for this one. Again, March 12th, UFC Vegas 50, Damon Leach, Kamuela Kirk, featherweight bout. Before I let you go, I do got to get a main event pick, UFC 272 this Saturday, Colby Covington, Jorge Masvidal. Who wins and how?
Man, I don't know that you watch the build up and you get like a completely different vibe. Cause I really think that Masvidal has no chance. But then like I look at the build up and I look at all the stuff he's done and I'm like, like you can't really like as bad as Usman smashing his last fight, you can't hold that against him because he's a tough dude. He's done some great things. And I think it's gonna be a dog fight. But I think Kobe wins it. I think he ends up edging out with just some wrestling takedowns and stuff. And I think that's what's going to get him the win. But, I think it's going to be a grimy fight for sure.
Yeah, looking forward to that one. I'm looking forward to your fight too. Again, March the 12th. Thank you for the time, Damon. Before we let you go, I want to give you the floor. Tell people where to follow you on social media. And if you have anyone to thank, the floor is yours.
Yeah, just going. Yeah, it's Damon B Jackson on all my social media. It's the same thing. I really don't use any of it, just a little bit on Instagram. But yeah, that's about it, man. I'm just I'll be ready to fight though.